morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Ask YP Now show. This is a show focused on positive living, work-life balance, woohoo, living life with a passion, success in your life and business, and most importantly, making the world a better place. And this evening, this afternoon, this morning, we have with us a special guest, a good friend of mine, coming all the way from Sri Lanka. His name is Lien. So, Lien, why won't you spend a couple of minutes to share with us, a bit about yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, if you see your screen flickering a bit, you know why? Because Lien has got an electrifying personality and is affecting our connection. Okay, Lien,
Thank you, YP. Thank you, YP. Thank you very much for having me here. Yes, it definitely seems like I'm electrifying your studio. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Lien K. I'm a success coach and a certified life transformation coach all the way from Sri Lanka. I have clients from all over the world, starting from UK, South Africa, Kenya, Pakistan, India, Dubai, Sri Lanka, and many other places.
Wow.
And I really enjoy helping business owners and professionals to overcome their fear and to take action and to achieve their dreams and goals. And I also specialize in helping business owners overcome stress, tension, anxiety, and their fears, and to arrive or achieve an optimum mindfulness and an optimum thinking capacity so they can actually focus better on their work. So that's a little bit about me. Once again, thank you very much, YP, for having me here.
Thanks, Len. And I like the word that you use, optimum, because I was listening to one podcast before. It says, many people say that you always got to be at your peak performance, but none of us can ever be at a peak all the time. You burn out, okay? And so, right, like
Absolutely.
you say, optimum means being at the best performance or best, situation you can be at that point in time. And so I like the word optimum. Okay, good. So you deal with a lot of business owners. So I want to tap into your what you think. Okay, so right now in the business environment out there, a lot of people are fearful. They're saying that times are bad. The economy is going down, recession is coming, inflation is going up. So, with you working around the world, can you tell us what's your opinion? Okay, is it still possible to grow our business in the current environment?
Thank you, YP, for that question. I think the short answer for that is absolutely yes. But let me tell you why it is a yes, because a lot of people would think I'm crazy for saying yes, right? I think business is a mind game, right? Because if you improve your success mindset, if you change your mindset, there's a lot that you can do to change how you do business. Now, if you think during this pandemic time, during all these uncertainties, during recession times, haven't there been business owners who have doubled, tripled their businesses, or even set up new businesses and earn millions and millions of dollars, right? Even when the pandemic hit, there was a handful of business owners who were becoming very successful. Some people improving their existing business, but other people actually setting up new businesses, right? So if you take some of these business people who have been thriving during crisis and the other people who have not been doing so well in crisis, the main difference is their mindset. So I completely believe that even in the toughest times, the business owners with the right mindset, the winning mindset or the success mindset, can really thrive and make the most out of it. Actually speaking, the bad times or the crisis times could be actually like a bonus for them. They could be even doing even better if you have the right mindset.
So with your answer, I know you're already biased. Okay, so you're telling us that the mindset is more important than the skill set. Can I just nail you with you saying that? Okay. The mindset is more important.
Absolutely. Yes.
But then, many business owners say that I've got processes, I've got systems in place. My business should be doing well because, mindset is something that's a variable I cannot control. But skill sets is something I can control. Now I've got ISO, I've got processes, I've got SOPs. Shouldn't my business be doing well?
Okay. I think once again a brilliant question, YP. See, all these ISOs, the processes, the systems, the technology, all these are non-human components in a business. But what we need to remember is all these things are run by human, right? People like you and
Okay.
I, right? So I love this quote which says success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy, right? Which means
Okay.
even if you are given the best strategy, let's say I bring Richard Branson's strategy and give it to a person, I don't think he or she would be able to execute it at a level like Richard Branson and get the same kind of profits, make billions. Why? Because the mindset of Richard Branson is not existing in that person. So the strategy is only going to take them so far. Similarly, I think there have been
Okay.
reality TV shows even around the world where they take a billionaire, they put them in a drop them in a town somewhere far away, give them $100 and give them 90 days to become a billionaire, and they do it. Why? Because regardless of the resources, regardless of the money that they have a mindset, right, which enables them to look at things very differently and make progress. So yes, I would say all different kinds of systems, processors, ISO, technologies, softwares, all these are important. But we need to remember the fundamental component that runs all these organizations are its people, whether it's the owner, whether it's the employees, it's the people. And it's like having the best CEO in the industry working for you. But
Mhm.
just imagine if that person was going through a crisis, a family crisis, maybe a relationship crisis, maybe a health crisis, maybe a family crisis at home, and comes to work fully demotivated, unable to focus, not having a spirit where he can overcome his problems, not having the right
Mm.
emotional resilience. So no matter how good this person is, he would not be functioning very well, right? So I believe mindset is very important than the skill set. Not to say that the skill set is not important, but if you don't have the
Mm.
right mindset, you would not be able to make the most out of the skills and the tools that you have at hand.
Thanks. I love your analogy, Lien. So basically, if I had to simplify things, it's like your strategies processes is just like having a high-powered vehicle, but if you don't have a driver there,
Exactly.
the right driver there, it's not going to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's a wonderful analogy, YP.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lien. So obviously, you've been working with lots of business owners from different countries, different culture. If I'm going to ask you,
Yes.
just one. Okay, what's the biggest obstacle, mindset obstacle? I mean, that is stopping people from achieving, their fullest potential. I'm going to ask you to share a few more, but what do you think is the biggest?
Okay. So the biggest one I would say is fear,
Oh,
right?
fear.
If you
Okay.
actually look at it, even if you write 10, 20 answers, why would a person not get the results that they want? Uh,
Hmm.
Results, uh, okay, success is a reflection of the results that you get. But results,
Okay.
uh, you get results only when you take action, right? So action
Okay.
leads to results and results leads to success. But
Okay.
people find it difficult to take action because they're held down by fear, among a few other
Okay.
reasons. But the biggest reason is fear of rejection, fear of failure, sometimes fear of success. Sometimes
Wow.
when I talk to business owners and we deep dive into what I call subconscious reprogramming, we find out sometimes people are scared of success, right, because of the belief systems that is inculcated in them.
Hmm.
So I would say the biggest obstacle for people to become successful is fear. And when I work with business owners, I work a lot around fear, because that is an element that not too many people are even aware of. People don't know that they're
Hmm.
driven by fear. People don't know that fear is holding them back. So my primary function when I work as a coach is to help them to understand how fear is holding them back before they understand and be empowered to release their fear and to overcome their fear. So fear is the number one thing that's holding most of the people around the world without letting them achieve the results and the success that they are yearning for.
So, Lian, so you identified fear as one of the main obstacles, but there are different types of fear. So, if I were to deep dive a bit more, among all the different
Yes.
fears, is there one type of fear that is most dominant among business owners or entrepreneurs?
By and large, I've seen fear of failure. Right.
Okay.
The funny thing is, the mind sometimes thinks, our brains thinks they are working for us to help us, but in reality they work against us, right? So I've been
Okay.
working with a lot of people just because uh, deep down they're scared of failing. They are not even trying,
Hmm.
right? People, I mean, I've worked with salespeople who are not making those 20 calls a day. I've worked with business owners who are not making those client visits happen. But when we actually deep dive, what we find is they have a big fear of rejection, sometimes stemming from their childhood issues, sometimes stemming from their past trauma, but they have not got overcome of that fear. So their subconscious is saying it's okay to fail, then sometimes get rejected. It's okay to fail, sometimes get then get disappointed. So people stop taking action, start giving themselves excuses, just because they are
Hmm.
so scared of failing. This is
Okay.
human psychology, and it's amazing when you understand how sometimes your subconscious, your brain itself is working against you, but in their defense they are trying to help you because you are more scared of rejection, more scared of
Hmm.
disappointment. So your brain says it's okay to fail, right? So fear of failure is one of these driving forces which is causing a lot of problems.
Just now you mentioned, the fear of success, and that's kind of like pretty interesting thought, isn't it? Because all of us want success, right? So how can fear of
Absolutely.
success be an obstacle? Okay, can you speak into that that idea?
Absolutely. So in this recent 2-day coaching workshop that I had with some amazing 15 individuals, also we were talking about it, and I gave them I prompted them into an exercise where I cleared up their mind, and I told them to write the first thing that comes onto their mind, and I prompted a sentence saying, uh, "My worst fear of becoming successful is," right? And people started writing, and people were writing things like, my worst fear of becoming successful is that I would lose real friends and I would attract opportunity seekers.
Hmm.
Sometimes people said, my worst fear of success is that I will start attracting more enemies. The worst fear is I will have too much to lose, right? The worst fear is my close family members might get detached from me. A lot of things, uh, when you prompt them without letting them think, without letting their rational mind think. So I have an exercise where I prompt them to think from their top level mind and immediately answer. Sometimes you come up with a lot of different answers than your rational mind thinks, and
Hmm.
and a
Hmm.
lot of business owners start writing all these things, and they themselves are surprised how their mind started thinking, right? So
Hmm.
underlying all these are a lot of things that we have seen, heard, maybe what we have heard as children from our parents, what we have seen in TV shows, what we have seen in movies, on how sometimes people become successful, but starts attracting enemies, start attracting unwanted problems. Sometimes your success is so big it detaches you from the love of your life, and your family life
Hmm.
crumbles. So many things like that. Now we are not
Yeah.
processing this information in our head, but it is at a subconscious level. So it's at a subconscious level. If we don't clear that, it will always start working against us, maybe sometimes making us lazy, sometimes making us lethargic, sometimes letting us give excuses to ourselves to sabotage our own success, because deep down there is this tiny thought saying it's best not to be that successful. It's surprising, it's
Wow.
amazing, but it's true.
Hmm. This is so powerful knowledge, Lien. So just give me a
Thank you.
second. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ask YP Now live show. So for those of you who just pop in to listen to us, welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are listening to a recording of this, we've got Lien here, a success coach, and also we'll call him a mindset coach from Sri Lanka. And we've just been looking at all the various obstacles or mindset obstacles that is stopping people from achieving what they deserve most. I use the word deserve most, or achieve their fullest potential in life. Okay. And so Lien, in a quick summary, has just shared with us that fear is the usually the biggest obstacle, right? So, Lien, I'm going to now proceed. So fear is one obstacles. What are the most common obstacles that apart from fear that you see happening in people? Or
Right.
roadblocks that we call them. Yeah.
Yes, some other roadblocks is one of the biggest things. This is interconnected with fear as well. The belief system, right? We all are programmed in a certain way from our small days up to now, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years of life. We've seen things, we've heard things, we've experienced things, we've been in certain circumstances, situations. Now, all these things have created certain definitions in our head saying, you know, uh, these kind of people are good, these kind of people are bad, these kind of experiences are good, I shouldn't be doing these things. So different types of belief systems, I call them codes. So if this is a computer, and if there is an operating system running inside, those are
Okay.
the beliefs, are the codes. So these belief systems also actually becomes a problem for success of most people, because your beliefs define how you take action, right? So
Okay.
if you have negative beliefs like without money I can't make money, right? Unless you have a lot of money, you wouldn't even try whatever to implement whatever the ideas that you have, right? If you believe that starting a business is so difficult, right, even before you start a business or thinking about setting up the groundwork, you'll be like, this is not going to work. And I always say, the only reason why Thomas Alva Edison created the bulb is because he strongly believed that that final result of capturing light in a glass orb is possible. Now, if he did not believe that it was possible, he would have tried about 10, 20 times and said, you know what, I give up, because it is not possible. But like, while other people were calling him a madman, he kept on trying 1,000 times. Why? The only reason is because he believed it was possible. So I believe the belief system is one of the key components in this success journey. So that's why, as a success mindset coach, I help people understand what are the top 6 negative beliefs that are holding their success back, and I help them to reprogram it. That's one of the things that I do as well.
You already got me triggered, because you mentioned numbers. My background, I'm a civil engineer. I love numbers. I love
Yes.
processes. Okay, so you mentioned 6. Okay, so what are the
Yes.
6 are things that we got to be aware of? That's holding us back. Can you just quickly
Right.
share on them?
So the thing is, YP, the 6 beliefs can be different to each and every individual. So I have
Okay.
2 processes that I do is I help people to find their baselines, which are like their core foundational values, and their top 6 negative beliefs, right? In both these instances, I take about 400 of them, and I have a special process through which I get them to funnel it down to find their top 6. So
Wow.
it would be very unique to each and every individual. Now, for an example, my top 6 negative beliefs had 4 beliefs connected to money. And when I actually looked at them, it purely came from my childhood, because I grew up in an environment where financial freedom was not available. There was a lot of restriction financially. I've heard I've experienced financial struggles as a kid. So 4 of the top 6 beliefs that was not serving me was about money. And I remember when I released them, when I reprogrammed them, the results were almost like immediate. I started thinking differently. I started doing things differently. I started taking risks differently. I started becoming more energetic in terms of implementing and rolling out my business. So my actions completely changed when I reprogrammed my businesses. So those 6 can be very different for each and every individual.
Okay.
Because your beliefs are developed by your life.
Okay. So got 2 questions arising from what you just shared. Okay. So can you just share an example? You said that some of these beliefs have been programmed into us from very young. So can you give us an example of how
Yes.
a situation where it's been programmed? Okay. So that would be my first question. Yeah.
Yes. Right. So for an example, let's say at a childhood age, let's say very small, you see your mother and father fighting about money, and you ask something from your father, and your father says, we don't have the money to do that, right? And those kind of things are not for people like us. It's for people who have money, right? This is not something for us.
Mm.
Or you would hear, let's say from a I'll give you a good example. Let's say some fathers are entrepreneurs, some fathers are uh, employees, right? So if you go to a father who's an employee and ask, uh, dad, we are not doing so well in terms of financially, why don't you start your own business? He would say, starting your own business is not for us. It's for different caliber of a people. We are small people.
Mm.
Nothing will work for us if we start a business. So this child, hearing from his father, he doesn't know what's right or wrong. He's like a sponge. He starts believing that. And when he starts
Mm.
believing that, throughout his life, he would look at certain situations which are in line with what his father said and reinforce that idea, saying my dad was
Okay.
right. So fast forward 30 years, there could be a guy in his mid 30s, right? Don't know why, he from inside he wants to start his business, but he can't. He's struggling. Why? Because when you actually go to his childhood subconscious to see, when he was 7 years old, his dad has planted an idea saying starting a business is not for people like us. It's for people at a different
Mm.
caliber. We will never succeed. So those becomes fears which are holding him
Mm.
down. But there's incongruency, because as a person he wants to start a business, but every time he starts he does it half-hearted, because those beliefs are weighing him down, so he
Okay.
experiences failure. This is a good example I can give.
This is an amazing example. And then just go back to the usual cliche that people say, money doesn't grow on trees. So
Absolutely.
I
And we
remember
hear
my dad, my own dad, telling me that from very young. He says, "YP, you got to work really hard because money doesn't grow on trees." So I guess
absolutely,
that's one of the reasons why I was working very hard in a big part of my life, because dad told me that.
that is
Yeah,
very true. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, yeah. So the other question I have is that you said you filtered down from 400 over questions down to the basic six. So how is the process? Do you have a checklist, a questionnaire, a template? How do you have people, bring down from 400 to six?
Yeah, so I have a list of 400 baselines and about 300 beliefs that I've collected, and I have put it into a format which allows them to select and funnel down
Mm,
and bring it to six over um, four levels. So initially you select whatever that resonates with you at the beginning, and once you submit, it filters out all the ones that you have selected and gives you and allows you only to uh, select 24 of them on the second round.
mm,
And from that 24, when you submit, it filters out those 24 and allows you only to select 12. So at each stage you are selecting
okay.
what resonates with you the most, and you keep on
Mm,
funneling it down until you get the top six. So I have
okay.
created this sheet that works for me, where it helps you to keep on funneling down all these belief systems.
Okay. I think this is very interesting. This is definitely something that I want to do for myself.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
YP.
I
It's going
look
to be a
forward to
very
be able
interesting
to work with
exercise.
you on that. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening in and you want to know how to get in touch with Lien, Lien has got his, Lien K coaching, Facebook page, and people can get connected to you through that page, isn't it?
Absolutely, YP. And I'm
Yeah.
very active
Okay.
on Facebook. Even my personal Facebook profile is completely on coaching. So I get connected with a lot of people. So if anyone is interested in any of these things that we've spoken about, please send a message. I'll be waiting to help you
Mm.
discover your success formula.
And those of you who are listening in, just go to, whichever medium you're listening in, to LinkedIn or Facebook, one of the Facebook pages, go and key in your questions. And between Lien and myself, we'll endeavor to answer all the questions you have. And of course, some of it you have got to go and consult Lien on his own and have a one-to-one with him. Okay. Right. So Lien, just coming back to the roadblocks or limiting beliefs, do you have a simple, for the listeners listening in today, do you have a simple methodology or strategy to help them, overcome some of the simple roadblocks?
Okay. More than a methodology, YP, let me just share something that creates awareness, which might really help them get thinking. Because I believe the first step of uh, first step of change is to have that awareness, right? So now, like I said, success, to have success you need to have results, right? But to have results you need to take action, but actions are defined by your beliefs, and beliefs are defined by your thoughts and words. So what I've realized is, if you learn to control your emotions, what happens in your inner world, right? Emotions will result in the kind of thoughts you have, right? And the thoughts you have will result in the words you use, right? So the words will create a belief system in you, and your beliefs will create limitations or potential in you, right? If you believe that you are not good enough, it will create a limitation. If you believe you can, it will create potential. These limitations and potentials are the deciding factor of how you take action and what kind of action that you take, and the actions will gives you result, right? And this works in a cycle. I call it a success cycle. So start controlling your emotions, then you control everything. So let me tell you the connection again. Your emotions, how you feel, defines your thoughts, right? Your thoughts define the kind of words you use. The words you use define what kind of beliefs that are shaped in you, right? The kind of beliefs that are shaped will define whether it creates limitations or potentials, right? Your limitations and potentials will decide what kind of action you take and how you're taking those actions, and the actions will define what kind of results you take. If you're listening to this on a replay, go back and play that and write it down. You will understand what you need to do is start working on your emotional resilience, controlling how you feel, controlling your state, right? So at the root level, in my coaching, this is what I give to people. YP, I help them be more aware about your emotions, be more aware about your state, and to build emotional resilience. Because if you are a happy person, if you are a motivated person at an emotional level, this equation becomes successful throughout.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'll definitely, look at the recording of this, So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this live, you know that all of these live shows would remain as a playback into whatever platform you're listening into. For example, if you're listening to this through Facebook, you go back to the Facebook page, and it could be Lien's Facebook page, and this interview will be kept there, and you can go back and watch and rewatch. Okay, I'll definitely be coming back, and I'll be taking, writing it all down because right now my hands are busy. I'll be writing it down and basically think on it, because I think that's a very, very powerful um, uh, methodology or a system or strategy, for us to have transformation. And guess what? You are a transformation coach, isn't it? A certified life
Absolutely.
transformation coach. Thank you so much for sharing with us. So, Lien, we're coming up to the 30-minute mark. This is a 30-minute show. So, I'm going to ask you, what's your parting words? What are your parting words to the list, to the business owners, entrepreneurs who are listening in right now, about how to thrive or how to do well in the current post-pandemic economy? Yeah.
Yes. I'll say something very short in the sense of time, YP. If you are stuck in any area of your life, may it be business, money and finance, relationships, health, or whatever, if you are stuck right now, you need to change what you're doing right now, right? And I love this quote which says, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So if you want to change, what you have to do is start taking massive determined action, right? And either you can do it by yourself, or you can find someone to mentor you, guide you, hold your hand, and help you do it in a lesser time because they have experienced in that, right? But fundamentally, if you don't change what you're doing right now, you're not going to get any different results. So if you're stuck, change something. That's what I would like to say as my
Yeah,
parting words.
thanks. Thank you so much, Lien. That's you've been sharing, so many words of wisdom or nuggets of wisdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that I'll say, watch and rewatch the replays, take some notes, and more important than just taking notes, put what you've learned into action. And if you want Lien to be working with you a bit more closely, you've got his. Let me just go put that up again. Here is his Facebook page. Get in touch with him. and let him help you, get the most important, as I say, the most important real estate you own is the 9 inches or 10 inches between your ears here, because this will determine the quality of your life and the life of the people closest, around you, right? Okay. So, thank you so much for listening in, ladies and gentlemen. As my way of saying thank you to all of you, I've actually written a book, okay? And this book is actually a Amazon bestseller, How to Work Less and More in short. And you can actually go to Amazon and buy this book, but you don't have to. So you see this link down there, please take out your phone, take a picture of this link, go to this link and download your free book, How to Work Less and More, or 10 Proven Strategies to Work Less and More. And that's the gift from, Lien and myself for attending this show this morning, afternoon, or evening. So with this, Lien, can we say, wish everybody a bye-bye, and wish everybody a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and thank you, YP.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day.